Hello, everybody. This is Gynarchic Awakening here. Speaking of which, I wanted to explain my name and also what I consider to be a very fascinating social phenomenon. It happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to other people. I've talked with other individuals, a few of which I've talked with a few Gynarchists here or there, and one thing I have come to the conclusion of is that there are moments in life, there are certain experiences that we have that put us into a place or a frame of mind to where we begin drawing conclusions. Uh, and some of these conclusions lead us to places that we never thought were possible. Now, in my case, when I was younger, a little bit younger in my, I want to say, kind of late 20s, although no, not terribly late, I want to say early late 20s, I read a piece of erotic fiction, and it clued me into the fact that I don't just, I used to be watching certain kinds of pornography where I thought, okay, I just like that kind of stuff. And then I realized it extended beyond that. And at the same time, I was also struggling with trying to find an answer for peace and balance. In other words, equilibrium for human beings. And what I ended up finding was that these two went hand in hand with each other. And so once I deliberated on it, and also once I met other people and was influenced by them, I understood that this was the conclusion that I understood, and then I drew the conclusion that I did. And so, what is a Gynarchic awakening, or how would I define a Gynarchic awakening? A Gynarchic awakening is a social phenomenon in which an individual comes to the conclusion that women should be in charge of the household, the community, the state, or the government, or businesses. It really doesn't matter which degree it is. And I say degree because there are some people who want the women in charge of the household, but not necessarily in charge of other aspects of life. But there are also those people who say, actually, I want the woman in charge of the business, or I want the women in charge of the government, or the community, and so on and so forth. Now, personally, the kind of gynarchist I am is I want women in charge of communities. I no longer believe in. I no longer believe that states and governments are sustainable, and the reason for that is because, and I'm not an anarchist, by the way. Like I don't want to destroy the state. It's doing a pretty good job of that itself, and it's not to say that I wouldn't mind a gynarchic state or government manifesting into being. The problem, of course, is that, and I've said that before. I'm not going to go over that again. But let's just put it this way. I am more concerned with community than I am with the state or the government because if you have 100 gynarchists and they're all in the same state, it doesn't necessarily mean they know where each other lives or they're friends or they've developed some kind of emotional connection. They actually legitimately care about each other on a deeper level. There's none of that. But you do get that when you have an in-person community, when you actually know these people, you've spent time with them, you've gone golfing, or no, bad example, bowling, there you go, gone bowling, or done other kinds of fun activities together to bond, and so on and so forth. And you just don't have this kind of experience. It's not the same on the national level. And I do feel like it's so much more feasible to work with Gynarchic communities. So that's why, I had a Gynarchic awakening, which is I wanted women running things, and technically I'm okay with any of those things manifesting, but I am in favor mostly for the communities, especially given the state of circumstances, the state that the world is in. The impending, what I would refer to as the culmination of the cycle of resentment, destruction, violence, and abuse. I don't think people know what that means, and I'm not going to go into it right away because I haven't actually fully explained that social phenomenon and what's going on with that. So I don't think you'll completely understand it, but I think you can understand the implication of what that means, which is it's what it builds to, it's what it leads up to. And I think that these states and these governments that people are running, they're going to collapse. And there are so many different reasons for this that, honest, I think I've gone over some, but there's also the fact that they can't even get their populations maintained. Like, when you're playing video games all the time, or you're on your phone, or you're getting some kind of other entertainment, or you're getting what you want from some other source, why the fuck would you need it? Why would you need a relationship? Why would you need any of these things? And then you throw in all the other factors, and you see that, yeah, the populations are in decline. People are not having children. People are not being intimate anymore. Um, that seems to be an ongoing trend. So I mean, you combine that with global warming, with the possibility of a nuclear war or just another world war, which would devastate this fucking planet and its people. And then you get into all the other fucked up things that human beings do to each other, and you can see that, yeah, this is not sustainable. This is a house of cards that's going to fall apart. That's why I am such a strong proponent of that community model, the in-person Gynarchic community model, because I don't believe that we have enough time to convince our sisters and brothers that this is the correct path in life. And I do also believe that many of them are going to reject it no matter what you say. This is the thing about people who are non-Gynarchists that really baffles me and shocks me. Maybe they're harboring a delusion that somehow science is going to fix all of their problems, or that human beings will just somehow magically turn all of this around. I don't believe so. In fact, I believe it's going to get worse, way, way, way worse for a long time. And I mean, again, I could talk about it. I mean, I guess the next thing could be Gynarchic wisdom. I could talk about how hope is a really fun, like, I mean, there's a quote from the Shawshank Redemption, but it is, to me, it does qualify as Gynarchic wisdom, because hope is such a fucking dangerous thing. Especially when that hope is invested in other people. So I guess I would qualify it by saying having hope in others is dangerous. And by others, I mean people who are less likely to have a proclivity to be Gynarchic in the first place, or to have those Gynarchic leanings. But that's more or less what that phenomenon is. It is a very unique phenomenon. I would say a downright fascinating one. And I guess the question I'd like to ask at the end is, based on the way I've defined this phenomenon, have any of you ever had a Gynarchic awakening? And if so, when did it happen? And were there special circumstances? Was it ordinary? Was it passed along? So I think that everybody has a story of some sort, and I'd love to hear about it. Mine involved erotic fiction, and then eventually I transitioned from erotic fiction to what's known as Gynarchic activism, where I am actively trying to not only raise awareness, but to encourage the coordination and the formation of those communities. So, in other words, I write about this stuff, but I'm not stuck with this stuff. Like, I don't just stick in the realm of fantasy. I'm actually trying to connect with people, help other humans. I'm so tired, but that's what I'm trying to do. So, have any of you ever had or experienced a Gynarchic awakening? And what did you go through? How did you feel? What were you? How are you processing it? And how has it changed your life? And what has it done for you? And where do you think the trajectory of your life is heading based on said awakening, the Gynarchic awakening? Anyways, thank you for your time. I know this is a little short, but I'm tired. I hope you have a great day, and peace out.